people? I'm Simba, and for some reason, whatever reason that is, you are listening to my kinda filtered thoughts. Now, the thing that has been on my mind, and the reason why I even decided to do this in the first place, well, there was a lot of reasons, but the thing that pushed me is the thing that's been running through my brain, and I have cleverly dubbed it, because I'm so smart, of course, the burden of self... I forgot the thing I made up. The burden of self-expectations. Yeah, you see, I'm smart. I didn't forget the thing that I made up. Now, what is the burden of self-explanation? That. The thing that is, that I didn't... Okay. I've just lost complete track. Let's try that again. What is the burden of self-expectation? I'm not cutting this out. This is a podcast. Well, it's more like a digital audio visual diary, but podcast is a lot more marketable, so we're gonna go with podcast. Anyways, back to my original point. What is the burden of self-expectation? Now, I think the best way to kind of describe it is it's kind of based around this idea of the bar you've set for yourself. Now, like, we've all, okay, I say we've all, I'm just speaking and making up assumptions. Now, I assume that most of us have had a day, unless you're like maybe just like the most productive and amazing person on planet Earth. That's not me, I'm not pretending. I'm sure we've all had days where we wake up and we just go straight to the lazy thing. We go straight to go watch some Netflix, play some video games, and we just go out and hang out with friends and just blow out for the day. Or we just spend the whole day just reading some book instead of doing the stuff we're supposed to. And our brains just like the entire time is just a little nagging in the back of it going, hey bud, you could be doing a lot more than that. You know you can. You know, it's this little nagging voice that's telling you, you could be doing a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more. Like, let's say you woke up and you had dishes to do. You have a essay to write that's going to take you at least a few hours to put some work into today. And you don't do that. Your brain, if you've done that before, is going to be like, hey man, why are you not writing that essay? Those dishes in the sink, they miss you, man. You know, they haven't seen you in a while. That sink hasn't seen your face. You know, don't you want to see your beautiful face in the reflection of that sink? You know, it's trying to lull you into doing these things, and it's nagging you about it. It kind of makes you feel not that great, to be fair. And I think that this bar is based on what you've achieved before. If your brain has seen you look at this mounding mess of dishes and clear it like it's the final level of Sekiro or something, you know, just destroying well, not actually destroying dishes, because that wouldn't get them clean. That would just have a lot of broken plates. But you know what I mean? Like, you out here cleaning these dishes like it's your job. Maybe it is. I don't know. And your brain has seen you doing this, and it's gone, I know you can wash dishes. I know you can wash them pretty okay, actually. You know, I've seen it happen before. And you should do it. You should go wash those dishes. Or, you know, it's seen you on the deadline, you know, that final minute, or the final day before your essay is due. Just write that thing. You know, write that thing like you're a wizard. You might be getting an F, but you wrote the whole thing. All right, you finished it, and that's all that matters. You know, A for effort. That might not be your actual grade, but you actually did the work, and your brain has seen you doing these things, right? So it goes, hey man, I know you can do this stuff. Why are you not doing it? And it kind of nags you. Your brain's kind of annoying because it's saying, one part of it's going, hey man, you should do all that cool stuff, and the other part's like, hey bro, Animal Crossing just came out. Why don't you do that? Dishes, lame. Good grades and a career, lame. What's cool? Paying off your debt to Tom Nook, that's tight. So your brain's kind of an asshole too, so it's a mixed bag. But we have that nagging feeling, and that nagging feeling, I feel, is what kind of makes us feel bad, partially for blowing off our tasks. You know, there's responsibility and other things, but there's this expectation where you're like, I'm capable of doing a lot more. And like when you start consistently blowing stuff off, you start to more and more feel like you're not hitting that expectation. You keep missing the bar. You keep getting mad at yourself like you're a friend. Like, have you ever had a friend who you know has the potential to do something? Like, you could probably cure cancer, or you could probably build Amazon 2.0 and then take us to Mars and then conquer Jupiter just because you felt like it. But this person that you have this feeling that they can do this because they've shown you things that have proven to you that they're capable of potentially reaching these goals and doing these things. When you see this person slacking off, you're like, dude, you're wasting your potential. I hate that word, but that's another discussion for another day. You're wasting your potential. And you kind of feel angry. You're like, come on, man. And you get a bit frustrated because you're a friend and you want to see the best for them. I feel like there's a part of your brain that kind of does that too, where it's like, hey, man, you're capable, man. I know you can wash those dishes. I've seen it happen before, bro. Trust me. I believe you. Those dishes, you can get them done. I don't know why I'm so focused on the dishes today. I have no idea. Maybe it's because I just cleaned the house, but the dishes, I don't know why that's we're moving past that. But that's the bar you set, right? So whatever your bar is set affects the expectations you have for yourself, is my theory, at least. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a psychologist. This is just a theory. Whatever bar you set affects the expectations you have for yourself. And that's going to affect how you feel about not accomplishing certain tasks. Like, if somebody was like, hey man, could you just watch over this Higgs boson collider for me for the weekend? And you're like, and if you don't do that, your brain's not gonna be like, come on, bro, it's just the Higgs boson collider, bro. That's easy. You know, if you've never ever done that, I've never been in that field of work, your brain's gonna be like, that's fine, that's way beyond your realm. But somebody's like, hey man, could you just mow the lawn? You know, the lawn's been kind of looking kind of gross. Do you mind doing that on the weekend? Your brain's like, you could probably mow the lawn, buddy. You could do that. So depending on your bar, your expectations are different for yourself and it affects you. Now, coming back to, hey Simba, what has that got to do with anything you said and the burdens and what's the point? Okay, why did you bring this up? Why do you care? How does this affect you? Good question. Astute viewer, or I say viewer, nobody's watching this. By viewer, I mean me editing this. Good question, me. Wait, I asked the question now. So was I mimicking me? Or how does this relate to me? Good question. I've had a few moments throughout the years where I've done something that has taken my bar from like here, and then just make it go like, whoa. And I'm just like, okay. That's a big jump. You know, your bar going from like, I won't even say here. Here was just, I was being generous. Like, it's gone from like here, right? And then it just jumped all of a sudden. And that jump completely changes everything. Your whole like set of expectations for yourself shift rapidly. I'll give an example. I kind of did this challenge where I did like a kind of workout challenge for about a month. And this workout challenge pushed me to my limits. Like this, I never worked out or done this before. And there's a lot of circumstances in which... Sorry. I had like a gas and it just stopped me. I'm so sorry. Okay. There's a lot of circumstances in which in most cases, I would have just blown it off because I'm like, oh, it doesn't make sense. There were times in which I had to go to other parts of the country because of the nature of my job, I had to go to other parts of the country to go do some projects and stuff. And I'll be staying there for like 2-3 days. And I would still be committed to this. There'll be times when I got back home at like 9 or 10 and I'll go out to the streets in the night, you know, and just be jogging. Obviously, I tell people where I'm at because, you know, I ain't taking risks. I like to be alive. And I was like pushing myself. I was like, wow, and I finished the challenge, I completed it. And I was really proud of myself. Now, I'm realizing that this is coming off a bit of a humble brag. Don't worry, I'm gonna bring myself right back down. So I'm not trying to humble brag. It's contextual. I promise. It's for the context. Now, after doing this challenge, I was really proud of myself. I was like, whoa, dude, amazing. But then I couldn't keep that up. That was not a sustainable thing. And maybe it was sustainable. And this is the problem. My brain's like, you did it, so maybe you can do it. This is the dilemma I'm at. So maybe it was sustainable. But it it obviously wasn't entirely sustainable since like I gave it up pretty quickly after the 30 days was over. Once the challenge was done, I was like, I'm not keeping this up. I kind of dropped it and it was gone. And this is the problem with a lot of the 30-day challenges that I kind of do. Is like after 30 days, it just falls off the wayside. I don't know whether or not it's a time limit or it's not sustainable, but I can't do it anymore. Well, the problem is these challenges put my bar up like that, and then I just go back again. Do you know what happened after I did that 30-day challenge? I ran again for about a week, and then didn't run again until about 4 months later. You know, I didn't do any of the workouts until about 4 months later. Now, if you've gone from this and you're just slowly going to that, it's not good for up here. And the problem is when you try and get back into like when I say when you, I don't know why I'm saying you, this is me, but I'm the only person watching this. So I, the person, does these things, and then they slide back into their old self, and I don't know, that felt weird for some reason, that phrase. I need to stop sidetracking. Part of me is doing it because I enjoy it, and part of me is doing it because I haven't slept for a very long time, and my brain is all over the place, and this may be the second time I'm recording this. Not the point. You slide back into those routines, and you can't keep it up. And when you slide back into those routines and you try to, let's say, do a much minimized version of what you were doing before. So let's say I try and do workouts again, but it's not to the extent at which I was doing it before. There's a little part of my brain going, bro, I know you could do better. You know, there's a part of my brain going, you did that, but you could do a little bit better. And it gets in the way because even when I do pretty okay, my brain's like, yeah, but you could do better though. And the really messed up part about it is when my brain keeps telling me that, I don't want to even start because I'm like, if I want to do this thing, I have to do it to this crazy level. And I don't have that in me to do that. Like I don't have the energy. I don't have I don't have any of it. I just cannot. And it's kind of annoying. And this kind of pervades into kind of more productivity and stuff. My brain takes in this kind of all or nothing mindset just because there's a part of me that's like, you have to do it to this extent. And that extent is hard. It's like, that was a challenge. That wasn't the norm. That was a outlier experience. But my brain has now been like, that's the bar you've set for yourself. That's a new bar. And which I appreciate. I kind of like. It's like seeing that there's new expectations for myself is great. At some point, the bar was getting out of bed before 12 p.m. And now the bar is working this amount of hours a day. Or the bar is doing this amount of workouts. Again, I'm not humble bragging. I know it may come off like that's what I'm doing, but it's contextualizing because I'm a stranger you don't know. And if you're watching this, for whatever reason, contextualizing the situation for you. So, what was I saying? I've actually lost track. Okay, productivity. When I'm trying to be productive, and I have this problem where I take on a lot more work than I really should reasonably do, which that's a discussion for another day. So productivity is kind of important to me because I have a lot of things that I should be getting done based on the kind of obligations I've set for myself. And my brain's telling me, hey, you can do this amount. You can be this productive. I know you're capable of being this productive. But then it's like, I don't have the energy to be that productive right now. I have the energy to be like close. I can be like half of that or maybe like 2/3, but I can't be that. I don't have the energy. I don't have it in me, or maybe I've woken up late. I don't have the time. It's going to mess up my sleep schedule. My brain's like, all right, bro, you can do whatever. But it's like, it's like when a parent goes, oh, okay. Which means like, if a parent ever says to you, oh, okay. And then you're like, bro, no, don't say that. It's like, just fight me. Let's just go take it on the streets because that's much easier. Whenever like a parent says, okay. Oh, okay. It's like, it's trouble. And that's kind of what my brain does. It goes, oh, okay. And I'm like, bro, what, why? And now I'm like, I don't even want to do it now because I'm like, I know I'm gonna feel really terrible. Even having done the work, I'm gonna feel bad for not having done as much as my brain's telling me I should. And that's just not great at all. And that's kind of what the burden of self-expectation has been for me. That's kind of what that concept is. I hope I explained it well. I don't know if I did. I hope I did. If that didn't make sense to you, the 1 to 3 people watching this, sauce. Sauce. I don't know. Maybe if anybody cares, I'll explain it again properly and try and get my brain together. Maybe just do a separate video on that isn't this podcast. Maybe I'll do a separate video explaining that and exploring that further and actually doing some research and not just theorizing. But that's kind of what that's been for me. And that's kind of really gotten in the way of getting work done, especially due to certain circumstances that have happened, especially here in the United Kingdom. I won't say what, but it's the 24th of March today. So you can, if you know what's going on in the news, you know what happened on the 23rd of March. So I'm kind of at home a lot more, and I need to get work done. And when you have this burden of self-expectation weighing down on you, when you have these bars you've set that are making it harder to actually get work done, it's a bit of a dilemma, because it's a damned if you do and a damned if you don't situation. If you do the work, kinda, you feel like crap. If you don't do the work, you feel like crap. And the only way to do it is to do the work to the standard. And guess what? That standard may leave you burnt out, and then guess what? You feel like crap. So it's a bit of a catch-22 here. I don't know what the dilemma, the situation is. I think I just need to spend some more time reflecting on my relationship with my work and productivity schedule. I have some planned ideas and tests to kind of see whether or not the things that I was doing were actually sustainable and I just didn't put them into a good routine. And maybe that's why my brain's telling me, hey man, you can do this. Because maybe there's a part of my brain that knows for reals I can do this, but I just haven't set a proper schedule. I haven't set proper routines for these things, so I can't put them in. So maybe that's kind of the only solution I have, is trying that out. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about the whole burden of self-improvement. Self-improvement? I made up the term and I keep forgetting it. Burden of self-expectation. Jesus Christ, it's not even that hard. I need like an easier word for it. Why don't I just call it the bar? The bar. I'm gonna call it the bar from now on. That's the problem I have with the bar. And you know, the bar has made my life kind of difficult. And I wouldn't really have had the time to notice it. It's been there, but I kind of only had the time to reflect upon it due to the recent circumstances. It was, you know, focus on some introspection. We hear all the children that should be in school shouting and screaming. So I chose introspection. By the way, not complaining about the situation. I think that what's happened is actually a good thing, because people don't listen, they're real dumb, so sometimes you gotta enforce laws to make them be smart. I have family members who work in the NHS, and, you know, you'll be fucking them over directly, and I'd be screwing them over directly if I went against these laws. I'm being really vague about it for some reason, I don't know why, but I've just decided I'm gonna be really vague about it. So, that's all I have for today. If for some reason this video convinced you that I am an interesting person, I don't know how, and you're interested in seeing anything else I do, there'll be links to that in the description. You know, the Instagram, Twitter, Vimeo if you really care. I also do other things. I play video games with friends. It's less serious, slightly less depressing if that's what you saw this as. I don't know if it was depressing. It's a lot less serious. Not less rambly over there. I'm about the same. This is just who I am. But yeah, you can go check me out and my friends doing that. That's fun. I have fun there. So much fun. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for this podcast. Stay at home, boys, girls, and horses. You crazy horses. Stay at home. And I hope you have a good day, week, month, year, or decade. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay frosty. I don't know. Bye.